Hi everybody, Dan Illman here taking a look at the co-feature race at Parx on Wednesday. Let's throw up the field for race number 8. It's the $100,000 Parx Futurity. 2-year-old fillies going 7/8 of a mile. We see it's a big field, although the number 12, By the Best, she won the Gin Talking Stakes at Laurel last Sunday. I expect her to scratch. That might make the favorite the number 10, Misinterpret, going out for Todd Pletcher and Kendrick Carmouche, dropping in class and distance. But here's a post position stat that might make you a little bit wary. In 7 furlong races at Parx over the last year, post positions 9 and out are 4 for 132. So Misinterpret's going to have to overcome an outside post position at a short price. There's likely to be some pace in this race, according to Timeform US. The 2 Alice Harper, the 3 Stand Up Comic. These are very fast fillies. I think the pace will be solid. Please visit timeformus.com once scratches are made official. This pace projector will update. It will take out the 12, By the Best. I think the 4 Collins Gray Lady can be sitting in a tracking position just off the early speeds of the 2 and the 3. Let's talk about this field in post position order, beginning with the number 1, a big priced horse, 88 Keys. This is a daughter of first crop stallion Gormley. She's only raced once. She was beaten 21 lengths in a maiden special weight at this distance. She didn't take much money that day. Now she adds blinkers. She really has to improve. Alice Harper is the speed nearest the rail, perhaps the speed of the speed. She stretches out to 7 furlongs. That's somewhat concerning if she takes heat early from the 3 Stand Up Comic. She was a nice gate-to-wire winner 2 starts back, and in her most recent start, she was part of a solid pace up front, and she got tired as the favorite. Now, I didn't love the field that beat her in that race. I think the winner is okay. I'm not sure what else was in there. Alice Harper has to prove she can get 7. If she can somehow get to the lead and relax early, she has some figures that indicate she can win. I'm worried, though, about the pace situation coupled with her stretching out to 7/8 of a mile. Let's watch Stand Up Comic's most recent race on dirt. She won her first 2 starts on dirt, including this race at Delaware on July the 21st, where she beat the boys, and she beat a decent horse. Mr. Mox has come back and done some good things in stakes races for Jamie Ness. Stand Up Comic went fast in the early portion of this 5/8 of a mile race and was very game to win. Now, after that race, I talked to Butch Reed, and Butch Reed said that he tried this horse on the turf twice. He really couldn't find a race. It's tough when you get through that one other than and you don't think a horse might be ready for stakes competition at that point. They decided to run this horse on the turf. They caught a yielding turf course. They didn't think that was a true indicator of her ability. They tried turf again. That didn't work out. Dirt is her surface. I don't love the fact that they tried her on the turf, considering she has a dirt pedigree and she ran so well in her first 2 dirt starts. But I think 7's going to be okay for her. She's by Practical Joke. The dam was a grade 2 place dirt router. We'll see if Stand Up Comic can withstand some pace heat. Going to be chasing Alice Harper in the early portion. Collins Gray Lady was very impressive second time out for Denny Velasquez. Let's watch that race. Now, this is a 2-turn mile, and she was able to get loose on the lead, but she went pretty quick to get loose. According to your Timeform US pace ratings, they're color-coded red. Collins Gray Lady went fast early, kept right on going. It was a nice performance. Now she's going to have to cut back to 7 and rate and finish. I think Collins Gray Lady has it in her. She has the pedigree to be a nice horse. And that last race was very promising indeed. She's a horse certainly worth some consideration. So lightly raced with upside potential. Bienvenue is the number 5. This is a horse that was no match for Collins Gray Lady in the race we just saw. She was 3rd that day. She chased a fast pace. She tired. I like her cutting back to 7 furlongs. I know her first 2 sprint races weren't good, but this is a race where there's likely to be some hitting up front, and Bienvenue's the kind of filly that might be able to make a run into it at a big price. Decisive Cause is next, a maiden after 7 lifetime starts, the number 6 Decisive Cause, stepping up out of a $25,000 maiden claimer. She caught a runaway winner at a big price that day. Maybe she was up against the pace a little bit, but she looked overmatched, and she looks a little bit overmatched on paper, stepping up into stakes competition. Smarty Pants Sandy, the number 7. This is a maiden, 3rd in a maiden claimer last time out, 5th in a $16,000 maiden claimer, 2 starts back. Another horse that needs a good amount of improvement. Captain's Daughter might be the strongest closer, and if you think this pace collapse, you might want to look at Captain's Daughter, a horse that has very competitive speed figures and might be a good price because of her low-profile connections. Let's watch Captain's Daughter's most recent race, the Key Sense at Aqueduct, against fellow New York breds, and she lagged far behind in the early portion of this race. It took her a very long time to change leads. She's 50-1 in this race, but she did get up for second. This proved that her race before, a second-place finish going a mile against state-bred stakes horses at Belmont, was no fluke. Give her pace. She runs on late. I'm not worried about the 7 for Captain's Daughter, and she is a strong stretch threat. 2 dogs, 4 cats, the number 9 is a maiden, and must deal with post position 9, barring any scratches. That being said, I think she's a little bit better than she looks on paper. She's run 3 times for trainer Lou Linder Jr., faced a nice horse in her career debut. The winner of that race is now multiple stakes placed. In her second lifetime start, she caught a horse that came back and handled Alice Harper pretty handily. Last time out, 2 dogs, 4 cats ran third, and the race doesn't look great on paper, but I thought she did a lot of work. She was bumped a bit coming out of the gate. She pushed a 4-ply pace while in between horses. She eventually cleared off and made it to the rail, and she got tired. This post is not great. Trainer Linder's stats with blinkers on, not great. You can look in your formulator past performances for that. That being said, she has speed, she draws outside the other speeds, and she might fall into a good stalking trip at a price. I think she can improve at a good number. Misinterpret could very well be the horse to beat. A stakes winner going 7 an off-turf race, the P.G. Johnson at Saratoga. She's been overmatched. From a class and distance standpoint, in her last 2, they ran her in the Grade 1 Alcibiades against Juju's Map, who came back to run second in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies. They ran her in the Grade 2 Demoiselle, going a mile and an eighth. Those horses are just too tough for Misinterpret. You know she's taking money because of the connections. It's Todd Pletcher. She's got figures. She looks very, very strong at a short price. You might want to take a little bit of a cautious approach, again, considering the outside post position, but this is a filly that should get the right race flow and is a strong contender. Lady Bernadette completes the field with By the Best, the number 12 expected to scratch. This is one for $40,000. First off of the claim last time out, showed really good speed in that race. The problem is this race is much tougher from a pace and class standpoint. We watched Lady Bernadette strutting down the stretch to win, but she only did so with a 38 Beyer speed figure. She's obviously going to have to do a lot better in this $100,000 stake, the co-feature at Parx on Wednesday. We take a look at my top picks for this race. Again, I respect Misinterpret. I want to look for a price in here. I think Stand Up Comic, the number 3, is a very solid horse. If she can sit just off Alice Harper and pounce, maybe she gets the first run on them turning into the stretch. I have to use the closing Captain's Daughter, who I think just gets the right race flow according to Timeform US. But my price play is the 9, 2 dogs, 4 cats. Again, not a great post, not a great trainer stat with the blinkers on, but we're looking for a price here. If this horse was 5-2 or 2-1, I wouldn't touch her. She's going to be a big price. I think she has tactical speed, and maybe she can pull off an upset in the co-feature, the Parx Futurity, on Wednesday. Approximate post time is 3:23 Eastern. Good luck.